and you're impatient, they are not going to work for you. That's not a knock against the concepts. It's just highlighting that you aren't disciplined enough. You haven't put enough time into it. And then you see the weak guys, soy boys, they say, oh, yeah, I did this for 2 years and I was never profitable. You were doing the wrong shit for 2 years. That's what you were doing. You were doing it all wrong for 2 years. You didn't listen to the things like I'm talking about right now, where you have to slow down, defer your expectations, defer it, put it down the road a little bit. Because if you put a timeline on it, if I don't learn how to do this by this day, get the hell out of here. Go. Get out of here. Go. That's the point of Ed Sekota's little parable he mentioned and included in his book, Through the Trader's Window. The Jade Master. The young guy goes and wants to be a Jade Master. And already, I know some of you are wanting to turn this off. Good. Get the fuck out of here, because you're not ready to do this. You're not ready to do it. This young guy travels a long time to find this Jade Master. Everybody said, if you want to learn how to be a Jade Master, this is the guy you go to. You got to travel a long way to get there. That's like you going through all this retail shit. You got to wade through all that garbage. Everything sounds like it's the winning thing. And you come to a guy, he says, hello, answers the door, and the young man, which is proverbially you. Yeah, I want to learn how to be a Jade Master. I want to learn how to read price action. Oh, go on in. And you sit down with him, you're expecting him to start showing you candlesticks and expecting you to know where to buy and sell. And what does he do? The first thing he does is gives this young man a green stone, presses it into his palm, and tells him to hold on to that. And he starts talking to him about everything but jade. And then he tells him, hey, look, you know what? You could be doing this over here, and hands him a broom. Starts sweeping my house up. What? Man, I did not come all this way, spend all my time to listen to you, old man, and then you're going to ask me to clean up your house? What? Man, I'm out of here. See you. And on the way home, halfway home, he's already doubting. Was he too impulsive? Did the Jade Master stop and say, no, please don't leave. I need your online support. I need you to like me online. I need you to talk about me in the positive light. No, he didn't do that at all, because he's the Jade Master. He knows his shit. He knows that everybody's going to want to come to him to learn how to be that master of jade. So, the next week, the young man makes that same travel right back to the old man's house, knocks on the door. Yeah, it's me again. Can I get a second chance? Sure. Come on in. And once again, he takes that green stone and presses it into his palm and starts talking to him about tree frogs, harmonic patterns. And then again, it comes over him again. He's like, look, you're doing it again, man. You're doing it again. I want to learn about SMC. I want to know which fair value gap to buy, which one to sell. When is it an inversion fair value gap? And the old man says, go home and come back next week. Oh man, this guy's tore up now. He's like, what? Piss off, old man. I'm going. And heads home. All week long, he's thinking, man, I messed up. And this goes on a few more times. But less and less, he interrupts the old man. Until one day, he's back there, and he says, look, you got me sweeping, you got me cleaning the cupboards, you got me wiping down everything. And I don't know anything about jade. And I've been coming here and listening to you drone on and on and on. And I don't know anything about jade. I came here to learn jade. I want to be a master of jade. And the old man tosses him a green stone. He catches it in the air. Here, hold this piece of jade. And when he grabs it out of the air and feels it in his hand, he says, this isn't jade. And the old man smiles. Most people miss it. But the highlight is this. When you're brand new and you think you know everything and you think you need to learn a certain way, that means you're the master. pretending to be a student. It doesn't work that way. When you go to someone that knows something more than you do, and this is not just limited to trading, anything, you got to respect your elders because they know how to teach you. But your impatience, your entitlement gets in the way. You want to learn it by this time. You want to learn it this way. This is the idea you thought it would be to learn it correctly. When you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're about to learn. You have no idea what it means, but there's all kinds of logic. So that man was giving him discipline and patience while learning what real jade feels like in your hand. That's what backtesting does. Backtesting shows you what real jade is. So when you start watching these candlesticks in live and you're tape reading it, you can see when that move ain't real, when it's fake, when it's false, and you can see what they're doing beforehand. And then you are a candlestick master. Then you can read the tape without me holding your hand, without me pointing to anything, without me ever making another video, because you have done the work of holding real insight, smart money concepts, the logic behind them. You have that in your hands while watching old price action. And it conditions you with patience over time, listening to logic that's going to prevent you from self-destructing, which is why I talk to you a lot. That's how I teach. That's how everyone that's become millionaires as students of mine, that's what they endured. That's what they took away. And every single one of them will be honest and tell you, if they're honest, they'll tell you, say, look, in the beginning, man, he talks too much. He does this, he does that. He doesn't get to the point. Yeah, I do. And they later find out that was the point. I'm slowing you down so that way it gets you out of the way. It teaches you patience. It teaches you to observe what real market precision looks like, what turning points are going to exist. Where is it coming from? Where is it going? When should it move? When is it fake? When's it a false move? All those questions are answered, but they can't be answered in a simple statement because you're not going to appreciate the gravity of what I say because you haven't tested it. You haven't looked back in old data and say, yeah, it's exactly what is happening. It's happening. These things happen all the time, but I never noticed it. Why? Because you're looking for the thing that puts you into a trade right now. Give me a trade right now or you're a fraud. Go fuck yourself. Okay? That's my response to all of you. When you have that mentality, you're broke. You're going to work or you're in between jobs. You're miserable. You're online and you want someone to jump through hoops for you. I'm not that guy. But I'll pull your strings and I'll pull your card and punch your ticket when it's amusing for me to do so. And that's because I'm entertained by it. My feelings are not hurt. I'm not upset about that. In fact, it just proves what I've already told all of you that are so concerned about them changing things. There's always going to be suckers coming in believing in this horse shit that retail teaches them. There's always going to be people believing that. There's so many books out there, so many personalities still going on about stuff that are outdated and archaic. Look at what I'm showing you, folks, man. Seriously, take me out of it. I'm the least important factor in all this. It's perfect. Why would you look for anything that's promising you something that's good when I'm showing you what's fucking perfect? It's perfect. To the tick. You don't find that in anything else. You don't find it. Because if it was there, man, they would be slamming my timeline on X saying, look at this and look at this and look at this and here's what I'm going to do. This is what it's going to do next. And then here it is. Here's the receipts. You don't see that. You don't see it. But they'll use my name and punch you in the face, try to get your attention, say, remember how ICT's a scammer? Remember how he did this? And remember how he said he was going to do that and he didn't do this? And I'm out here live streaming telling you what the market's going to do. Are you forgetting that? Selective memory, amnesia? Like, what's the deal here? That's me playing with the audience. I troll my haters. I enjoy it. That's why I never had to advertise. That's why I never had to advertise. I never paid for advertising. I would step right in front of them like David and Goliath, and they had a bigger following than me. And I said, your shit stinks and mine's better, and I'll prove it. And I did it with a demo account, which made it perfect amusement for anybody watching it. But then they shut up because they couldn't do anything like me. With a sling and a stone, I knocked them all off. And they like to use the things that I stunted. I made fun of things. I made fun of people and I trolled, and they take things out of context. And it's so fun to watch them still go on like they think they know me. You have no idea who I am. You have no idea. But it's fun. On this side of the storyline, it's fun because these people that are trying so hard and desperately to sell things to you, they need your money. They need you to hate me. They need that to happen. They need to be viral that I'm a fraud and scammer. They need that to happen because so many people are learning how to become fucking rich for free and beat the shit out of this market for free. They can't have that. That's why I told you there's going to be this collective that will come, and it's going to be everybody that sells shit because they need to sell it. They need to sell their software program. They need to sell their fucking plan. They need to sell their little gimmicky bullshit, their courses that's really diluted my stuff. Think about it. How else can they live? How else can they make their money? They have to market their stuff. They have to sell stuff, right? And that's why they do it. And they know there's always going to be people that doubt because you're weak. You won't spend enough time doing it right. You're going to look at it and, oh man, this is really complicated. There's a whole lot of videos there. When here's all you are doing, okay? This is the core tenet to what it is I teach. You ready? You're looking for a market, whatever market you want to trade. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? Whatever you want to trade, it works in everything. So stop your bullshit. It doesn't work in gold. It doesn't work in this. It works in every fucking thing. Everything. It works in everything. Crypto. I've never used it. I don't have the evidence to say that, but I have students that made millions of fucking dollars trading with it. How many millionaires is the guy you're listening to has he created? There's your litmus test right there. How many people have made millions of fucking real dollars with the horse shit that they're selling you? There you go. That's your litmus test. Period. Forget about me. Don't ask me. Is it something that you can learn to do? Forget what I make. It doesn't matter what I make. You'll never make that much. You are learning something that's either transferable knowledge or you're not. And if there's people learning it and they're doing it and they're making millions of dollars, is it worth your investigation and push effort into that and block out all the other horseshit? To me, I think it's a no-brainer. Show me someone that's made millions of dollars with it, and you're going to see them do all kinds of defensive maneuvers. They're going to get they're going to cuss you out. They're going to say you're an asshole. You're a cult member. You're probably one of those dumb ICT guys. You're drawing those rectangles on your chart, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Meanwhile, where's your millionaires? Back to the question. Where's your millionaires at? That's the question. That's the question for 2026. Where is all the millionaires at? Because if you're only showing what you made by selling your horse shit, buying your cars, buying your boats, buying your horse shit watches, okay, that nobody gives a shit about, they're ugly as fuck. Okay, all these things don't prove any benefit to your subscriber base using what you're doing. Think about it. I got my own brokerage firm. This is all the money I made. This is just the statement number here, but you didn't watch me make that balance. And I will never go into a CFTC regulated brokerage firm and do it anywhere else. Well, that's suspect, isn't it? That's suspect, isn't it? But they're going to counsel you on what you should do when they're not telling you what the market's going to do beforehand with detail that is repeating logic. Think about it, folks. I mean, this is really a litmus test for you. It's an IQ test. Are you fucking stupid? Are you stupid? Because if you're giving your time of day to any of these jokers out there that have a price tag attached to anything, you work for them. You work for them. You're Carl now. They employ you. They hook you for your attention. They get you watching their horse shit, and eventually you'll put a hand in your pocket and you'll pay for whatever they're selling. And you'll be no better off by having done so, except for regretting it. That you'll look back and say, I wasted so much time and effort and energy and money, and it didn't work. I bought into the hype. I bought into the image. The only image around here is precision, predictability, consistency, continuity, honesty. That's the way it is around here, folks. If it ain't working, then you know it's a fraud. If I can't talk about it before it happens, then you know I'm a fraud. And the logic that I taught, and students that dug their heels in, rolled their sleeves up, and said, you know what? I get it. ICT, he likes to stir the pot, and that was his marketing strategy. It worked. I'm at 2 million people because when they come here, they see shit that they can't find anywhere else. And they look past the personality. The personality, the marketing aspect, the engine behind me, the inner circle trader, it was me causing doubt. Because if I got some of you to fall in love right away because you paid attention, because of the concepts working, I don't need to work on you. I'm now after the people that want to talk hate, and I'm going to convert them. Not every one of them, but I got a lot of them. And a lot of them secretly love me. They got pictures of me next to their nightstand at nighttime, and they have to hide it when their wives come in. Ooh, yeah, that's how it is. And I don't mind. The bromance is cool. It's cool. But the bottom line is this. I know how to work an audience. You have to divide them first. Divide and conquer. I already know that people with a brain are going to realize that this stuff is superior to everything else. I don't need to cater to you. I'm not defending myself. I'm having a lot of fun by bringing in more people. And it's the people that hate me because they borrowed that opinion from somebody else that they look up to at the time. Oh, I've watched you do this and I've watched you that, and you're the goat. You're the goat. You're the goat. Oh, you're that ICT guy. And he made fun of him. He's making fun of you too. Yeah. You look. What? What'd he do? He called a low, and he went exactly where he said he was going to go. Oh shit. Maybe I should delete that post about that, because if someone screenshots that and throws it in my face later on, I don't feel like an idiot. Yeah. That's what happens. And all of a sudden I get emails. Like, I got emails overnight. Damn, bro. Like, I was part of that train. I was part of that train, man, hating on you, and I didn't even really know what you were. Like, I just believed all the bullshit that people put out there. But what you just did yesterday, I watched it. I didn't see it live, but I watched the recording. I can see it's a live stream recording. Bro, that's something different. Exactly. And that's all I've ever done. That's my marketing engine. That's what I do. I'm not out here defending myself because I'm sleepless, because I know it works. And some of you that don't want to see it, I get it, man. It sounds like a broken record, or you think I'm arrogant or narcissistic. I'm really not that. But I play that part, just like Stone Cold Steve Austin in wrestling. That's his gimmick. That's his persona. That's what he uses to sell his whole thing, his merchandise. Okay, they're not getting paid because they're wrestling. They're getting paid because they sell their t-shirts and whatever else. I'm selling you this information for free by hooking your attention, getting you here long enough. Getting you here long enough so that way I'm making you emotionally connected to it. Either you're here to find something I'm doing wrong so you can talk about me, but you can't find it, and you're struggling. But then in the process, you're seeing me do shit nobody else can do, using the things I already taught for free, and then you're stuck. And I have the people that love me, and they're making money with this stuff, and they're like, dude, man, why do you even give these people this time? Because that's how I got to 2 million fucking subscribers. That's why. I know how social media works. I know how your brain works. I can say one statement, and both of you, the hater and the lover, will find solace in it and feel like yep, he's talking about me, and he's finally admitted that this, that, and the other thing. And neither of those things would be true. It's market manipulation. Market makers do the same thing with these candlesticks. They make you think you got an opportunity about being right, and then they slip your stop. Done. You're lost. That is control over the audience. That's showmanship. So while I have a skill set, I have something that's transferable knowledge, I engage my audience in a way where I immerse them in an emotional response. Either you're willing to go to war over me, or you want to come here and sling rocks. Either way, I'm happy. Either way, I'm happy. Not because of the drama, it's because that you will spend time here long enough and I will convert you. I'll show you that your Mickey Mouse horse shit doesn't work nowhere near like this. And that little bit of doubt, the first time they see it, it's in there, just like a grain of sand in an oyster. And that little soft belly of that oyster, it can't get that grain of sand out. So it starts secreting more and more and more and more, and it just gnaws at them. And all of a sudden, they realize there's a pearl of wisdom right there in their gut, and it's good old ICT. And they come back and they send me emails, and they'll say, "Man, this is a hard thing to swallow, but hey, I'm a man. I used to make fun of you. I used to make fun of the stuff you're talking about. I used to say this, that, and thing. I just parroted everything else that everybody else said, but you did something that got my attention." And I just quietly looked at what it is, and I just took out $85,000 in a withdrawal from a live account, not prop. What do you do with that? You parade around the house and say, "That's why you do it. That's why you do it, ICT." And it's fun because I take ugly people and I turn them into positive people. And I do it in an unorthodox way. That's what I do. I'm not out here trying to get you to be clones of the ugly side of me that markets. I'm out here trying to get you to be the positive role model for your family using what it is I'm teaching. But I have to build an audience. I have to get that audience there. And what I do is I create an atmosphere where you suddenly find yourself caring enough to be involved. And I start a riot. And that's what I've done. I was a virus and I infected this industry. And this is what my whole plan has been, is to get all of you to pay attention. But there is no malware for this now. It's out there. People know about it. There is no virus scanner that's going to remove me because everybody has it now. They have it. I'm no longer the important thing. They can't stop it because I've already released it. It's in there. It's in the source code now, and nobody can take it and remove it. It's common language now. SMC, this, that. They may not know me yet, and it's not important. It's really not that important. Me is not that important. But where it came from is. And it ain't from anybody else's lips or their books or their courses or their videos or any person face-to-face mentorship. No man taught me this stuff. Not one man taught me this. And my question to you is, if it wasn't the Lord, how else could it be so perfect? He's not the author of chaos. He's not. But he put everything in motion perfectly. Perfectly. And you see it here. You see it. So I'm going to spend the rest of the week. I'm not going to be with you the rest of the week with any kind of charting or anything like that, or live streams. I just had an opportunity to do this yesterday and had a small little window of time to talk to you today. And hopefully, for the folks that think you understand me, and you're the ones that go into other people's channels or their posts and you say, "Yeah, that ICT, he's a scammer. Remember that one time? Remember that one time he did this and he did that?" You have no idea. Like I make puppets, marionettes, like on a string. If you're talking about me, you're keeping me relevant. And that's going to cause curiosity in everyone that sees your post about me. And that's exactly what I've always controlled. The narrative. I get you talking, then you come here and you send the people that follow you, you're going to influence them because they want to come here and see a train wreck. That's what they want to see. And it's hard to look away from a train wreck. So I create that environment. And you want to come here and see the guy that's going to fail and flounder and look silly. And all he talks about is a demo account. Yeah. And then what happens is they come here and they see something that's like, "What the hell? Yeah. Surprise, motherfucker." Because that's what happens. It's guerrilla warfare. You're getting ambushed, ICT style, bushwhacked. That's how it works. And for the people with the intelligence, they have seen this all along. You'll see them. They'll say, when people are complaining, like, their response is, "You're new here, huh?" It's the same pattern every year. It's the same MO. I do the same stuff every single year. And here I am at 2 million subscribers. No advertising. I never had to pay for ads ever. Ever. Because if the product works, if the product's good, you don't need to. Word of mouth will get it. And all I had to do is get it, put it in your hands, and then control the narrative. Done. That's understanding human psychology. That's understanding real supply and demand factors. Yeah. That's me using the real pitchfork and sticking it in the ass of haters and making them work for me. Okay? That's what that is. So I guess in a way you can call me the GOAT. The greatest of all times in marketing. Because I did shit that nobody else has done before. And I built a huge audience, and I've made millionaires, and I've made people find worth and self-worth in themselves because they have been empowered with a skill set that no person can take away. No person can take away. They can't talk down to them anymore. They can't make them feel defeated. They don't feel like a loser anymore because they have the ability to carve out their own paycheck. They can make whatever the fuck they want to make, and nobody can say otherwise. They ain't worried about whether their job's going to say, redundant, we got to get rid of you. They don't care what gas is going to cost. They don't care how much groceries are costing. They don't care about the utility bill. Speaking of utility bill, by the way, did you see your utility bill for December? It wasn't really that cold here, but it was almost double. And you know what? I didn't care so much about it until my wife asked about it. Did you notice this? Oh, yeah. And that was it. I'm not worried about that. And when you have this skill set, you don't worry about things like that. You don't worry about how much things cost. I got to buy new clothes. And people are going, oh, man, they raised the price. Is that what's going on? But I can see groceries because I'm the one that goes to the grocery store, and I'm the one that swipes the card and pays for them. And I can see how it's gone up. I'm not losing sleep over it. But I do think about all of you that are struggling, just trying to find the way to make your ends meet. And you're a single parent, you're a working parent, or you are part of a marriage that is just struggling because things have gotten so far out of whack. I feel for you. And I hope you understand that what I've been doing is meant for you all along. It's been presented in a way where this is the best way. It's a lot of information because I want you to know everything that I'm willing to teach. It's not because I'm trying to bog you down. I want you to know everything. I want you to understand where you're going to mess up. I want you to understand how you can shorten the curve by how you think. If you think you're entitled, that has to break before you grow. If you think you understand how to be taught, that needs to be abandoned or you won't learn. I promise you they're the truth. That's the truth. And those are the two primary things that prevent people from learning, not just from me, but from anyone. If they have something that's transferable knowledge, a skill set, information, some kind of a process, anyone that comes to them with an idea on how they should be taught, they're not teachable. They're like that young man that came to see the Jade Master. He knew everything. He thought it was going to be easy and fast. He should have it fast because he spent the time walking there. You owe me, old man. And just like that old man didn't owe him shit, I don't owe any of you nothing. I've already given you more than any motherfucker on this planet would have given you. And I've given it to you for free. And I'm still here for free. Nothing. Period. Be content with enough. What is enough? It's going to be uniquely different for all of you. $15,000 winning trade may not be significant for some of you. For other people, that's a whole year and I'm done. I ain't got to do shit now. So it's a matter of personal preference and where you are, what your expectations, what your skill set provides for. But your mental capital, the way you build that up is when you have the victory like this and it's done well. And you may have never taken a trade on this, but remember in your journaling, you're going to be recording it like you saw it coming and you did. You're tricking your brain with pseudo experience. So you're always constantly laying down foundation psychologically because this is where all this battle's won. It's not in the chart. It's in your head.
because you can talk yourself out of a winning trade easily, and you can talk yourself out of a short-term drawdown that will eventually pay out if you just stuck to the model and what you're trying to trade. But your mental capital needs to be increased. How do you increase your mental capital? Because you can't deposit mental money. It's experience. That experience factor is something that goes largely untouched in terms of teaching. Mark Douglas didn't talk about it enough. He didn't really get to the grasp of, you have to fortify yourself between trades. When you've done something correctly, sit still. Feel what it feels like to be content, not needing to go to that next trade. How do you know you're ready to go in and trade with live funds? How do you know when you're ready to do a funded account challenge? When you're not driven by the passion to get into a next new trade. If you're the person or persons that always tweet to me when I'm calling something out and it delivers, you're the first person in the line that says, what's next? What's going to do next? You're not ready, bro. You are fucking not ready. You're a fiend. You're literally cracked out. You're equivalent to having a crack pipe in your fucking mouth, and you're literally out of rocks, and you want to get the next one. You're fiending. You're not ready. You are absolutely not ready. The people that are like, yeah, I'm going to take this week off. What the market's going to do is, yeah, it's all right. That's someone that's got the right mindset. If they're already consistent in terms of what they can see and forecast and price action, and they can take themselves away from the market, even when they know there's something coming, that's maturity. That is a skill set that if you can forge that before you press into real money, that factor of, well, discipline, it will serve you so well. But you all think it's just the stuff in the charts that's what you need. The new ICT gimmick, the new something setup or model, whatever. And it's not. I've given you shit. I've given you so many things already. But you are the missing final piece of the puzzle. And you don't want to believe me because it's painful. I'm going to constantly remind you. Every time I talk in a Twitter space, I'm reminding you, sometimes gently. But in this one, it probably hurts a little bit. It probably feels off-putting. Don't hate the messenger, okay? I'm Dr. ICT, okay? I'm telling you, this is the medicine that you need. It doesn't taste good, but it helps you. It makes you better. And it's important for you to grow and understand how to do this correctly and not hurt yourself. That's why I teach in a demo. Because if I teach in a demo and I go out there and I show you what I'm doing, because the misnomer is this. If I'm the number one guru on Twitter, right, Patrick? And I'm trading with a demo, I don't trade with live money, I'm already loaded. I don't need to prove people I have made money in the marketplace. I don't need to do that. I'm calling it. My students are making money. The stuff happens. That's all that needs to be known. That's the only thing I promised, that you're going to learn how to read price action. I did not promise you profitability. That's something that you individually control. But if I'm out here in public, in the mode of an educator, and I have no emotional commitment that holds me back about using a demo, then you should have no problem practicing in one. If your mentor is operating and teaching through the medium of a demo, I don't listen to these jokers out there that have something to sell. Oh, wow, he does this and he does that. And they're not even doing anything close to what we do. Their whole month, I could do that in one fucking day. One day. From beginning to end, show you the whole fucking history. Done. I don't need to do that. I don't have a little dick complex, okay? I'm completely content with who I am, how I am, and my own length. I don't need to worry about anything else. So when you're looking at this, don't view what you're doing as a demo is not significant enough, because it is significant, because you're reading price. The same price action that's unfolding in that demo is happening for people that are trading in real money. The real money people that did everything opposite to what you were doing are expecting in price action and lost their ass. Believe me, they know for fucking certain that shit just happened to them. I'm teaching you so that way you have no emotional connection to this. You have no connection to it emotionally. So you can't be swayed in the periods where it will do its damage. You can't get all, egotistical. because you're not making any money. You're not getting taxed. You can't go out and spend those demo dollars, but you're getting that experience and you're allowing yourself to learn what I'm teaching you. When you get it right, pause. Feel what it feels like to get it right. Give your journal time between entries where you executed and your next trade. I'm not convincing you or trying to talk you into taking trade after trade after trade after trade to fill your journal up. That's not what this is all about. It's quality over quantity. And just because I'm teaching you the skill set through the medium of day trading, it's not every day trading. There's recklessness out there, and people gravitate to wild cowboy type shit. And I've done that stuff. And I fell victim to it when I was coming up. I saw people doing some crazy stuff on America Online. I was like, well, I want to do that too. And I got hurt. And I tried to force myself to learn what it is they're doing, and I couldn't do it. So I just stopped. If I'm not able to bridge the gap for you, I'm not the best mentor. Okay. I've said this many times before. I'm not the best mentor. I'm sure in years to come, someone's going to properly learn what I'm teaching, and they're going to do a better job of coaching other people. Okay. But until I'm done, that can't happen. But November, we're done. I may not be able to fulfill that need. That one of you, or individually, some of you that are listening, I might not be the person that can deliver it. It might be one of my children later in life if they decide to go that route. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can. I have limitations as a person. I have things I wrestle with, and I'm a real person. So I'm practical. I know that I'm not going to reach all of you. And it hurts me because I try very hard, very, very hard to try to do whatever I can to allow you to understand what it is that you need to know and to eliminate the things you're worrying about. And it frustrates me when I see people not listening to the sound advice that I wish I would have paid whatever I had to learn how I'm teaching you. Like, I'm trying to be, because I know what it was like. I lived it. I mean, I know 20-year-old Michael. I mean, I'm that guy. And if I would have had this, it would have done so much for me. It would have encouraged me when I needed it. It would have kept me aligned properly, and it would have allowed me to control myself when I didn't have any control. When I would win, I'd want to go back in right away. When I lost, I'd want to go right back in. Like, I was not fearful. Once I've learned certain methods of getting in, I was looking for it all the time, not understanding that the market's going to have an ebb and flow. There's a time delivery to all this shit. And unless you understand that, just the liquidity alone is not enough. It's essential, but it's not enough. You have to know how they use time. And that takes time to teach, which is why I tell everyone, a minimum is a year. And that's just really scratching the surface. Your best learning is going to be in your year 2 through 4. But you can be profitable all through that. So don't let that be a deterrent. Don't let it be like, oh, you're saying I can't make money. No, you can fucking make money just watching the YouTube playlist from 2022. If you have a general foundation of understanding what price action usually does, if you're familiar with trading and you go into that model, you can go right out the gate, boom, and start finding profitability. I'm convinced of that. But the problem is I have a lot of people that come to me that are greenhorns. They're brand new. They're just right out of the womb. Okay, here, make me a trader. I don't know how to walk yet, but make me a trader. You don't have much time. Okay, that's fine. All that shit goes away when you start making money. Okay, once you see that you can pull these setups and opportunities out of the marketplace consistently, your job that you think is the most important thing right now, that controls every aspect of your time, that shit's going to fall secondary. You're thinking right now, I'd like to learn how to trade, but I got this job. I'm afraid to lose everything. I'm afraid to take a risk. And okay, entrepreneurs, here's the difference between an entrepreneur and someone that's going to be in the rat race forever. The entrepreneur tests to see if there's opportunity. Once the entrepreneur sees there's valid evidence to support that they can absolutely be profitable doing it,
The job that they hold as their shield, their pillar of insurance, they hold on to that. That's their fortress and high tower they run into when things get rough. At least I have my job. Fuck that shit. That job is not guaranteed. Just like your next trade isn't a guarantee in winning. But see, you think that your job, that's a safe thing. That's a fortress of solitude. It is a bunch of shit. It's slavery. They have literally brainwashed you into thinking that that is what you should accept. And I'm telling you, that's not what you should be accepting. You're being limited. Your entire life is being held back because of that fucking job. You can only make what that person that employs you tells you you're going to make. You can't make any more than that unless they're nice to you. And this is what they've been teaching you. If they're nice to you and they let you get some fucking overtime so you can make the Christmas bills that you create for yourself. I know, I used to do the same shit. Beg and plead, hey, can I have some extra hours? Can I please slave for less than I'm really, should be expecting as income? Let me prostitute my time some more and be away from my family some more for a little bit more money, for 1.5 times of the bullshit pennies that you give me. When you start seeing that you can do this, that fucking job is going to be secondary now. And that's exactly what you want. You want to do everything that beefs up and fortifies what you're doing as an investor. Because as an investor, there is no ceiling. There is no limit that you can say, okay, this is as much as I can earn. Who says that? Who says that you can't do that? Who says that you can't make $10,000 a month? Who says you can't make $10,000 a week? Who the fuck said you can't make $10,000 a trade? Who's saying you can't? The only person that can stop it is you. You. The same person that's saying, I don't like having to go to work, but man, I'm glad I got my job right now. What would I do if I didn't have my job? What the fuck would you do if you didn't have your job and you're earning money from your investments? That's the question you should be asking. Flip it. Instead of saying, what would I do if I lost my job? That's an abusive relationship and you're fucking holding on to it. You start small. 5 handles is easy. 5 handles replaces your fucking job. I don't care what you make. You can be a surgeon. I have them. 5 handles, you can make more than that surgeon earns in a year. All the heavy lifting is done by money management. You just need to have the cookie cutter that repeats over and over and over again. This thing that you keep doing, that's your multiplier. 5 handles right now is easy for you to learn to do. It's not easy when you first start. But if you look at these price ranges in the morning session and the afternoon session, there's several 5 handle runs in there. Easy ones. The problem is you want more right now. You're holding yourself to an expectation that you are not realistically going to meet. And then you're wondering why you're depressed and anxious. You're feeling rushed. You're weighing yourself against what you think you should know by now, and that's bullshit. It's only been 1 week. 1 week, and you think you're supposed to quit your job and be able to double your fucking account in a month. That's not practical, man. Or lady. It's not something that you should be aspiring to do right now. Can you do that and eventually over time? Sure you can, absolutely. Let it be a goal that you work towards, but you have to place time and experience and invite the opportunity for that experience to come in and build before you take on those monumental projects and goals for yourself. But the first thing you're trying to learn how to do now is find the setups that repeat. And then once you find that one that repeats, you will learn how to trust it because you see it happening every day. Every day it'll be there. I promise you. Scouts Honor, you will see a fucking 5 handle run every day. Every day. Every fucking day. If that market's open, 5 fucking handles is laid in front of you every single day on a silver platter. You just can't identify it right now. And that's absolutely normal. That's normal. There's no reason to be anxious about that. Trading is just like that. It's not meant for everybody. But you have to run your own business. You have to mind your own business. And you have to do things to make ends meet. And your ends are not the same as mine. They're not the same as 20 other people in the community. The people that don't want to have conversations like this and talk about these, this is the real world. This is what real trading is about. It's not pushing a button, winning. Hey, holla, up there on Instagram, look at me. Here's my rented Lamborghini. Here's my rental flat that I don't really live in. Come on. Here's my fake watches. I ain't gonna zoom in because you don't see it's fake. This is the same bullshit, man. You guys like all that stuff because it's entertaining. Well, I'm not trying to entertain you. I'm trying to turn you into a fucking monster where you go in there and you say, you know what? I don't give a shit if you fire me tomorrow. I don't give a shit if this business I work for closes the fuck down next week. I don't care. I'm feeding me and mine. There ain't nothing you're gonna do to stop me from doing that. Period. Nothing you can say about it. I don't give a shit what influencer on the internet says anything about me. I'm still going in here and fucking kids. Nothing's stopping that, and nothing's stopping you as my student. Nothing. It's just air and opportunity between you and you getting that realization of that profit. That's it. That's the only thing separating it. But you have to make that move. And you can't do it just jump out there blindly. You got to have a structured approach to it. And you're all going to have a different approach. Period. What's your low threshold objective? It might be $500 a week. It might be $100 a week. You might be a stay-at-home mom. You don't need a whole lot. The husband's taking care of everything. You got a big nest egg, but you want to do this on your own. You want to contribute. You want to feel like you're bringing something to the table. You know what? That's admirable. And you might be thinking, all I have to do is make $100 a week and then let that grow and build up. Man, in 2 years, you could still be doing amazing returns if you let the compound effect take root. But you have to submit to that part of that time. That's why, again, I get back to working with a year of mentoring. Mentoring for a full year is crucial because you're going to feel all those factors of downtime when the markets are just simply not willing to give you anything. And you got to know what it looks like. What does it feel like? Can you even tolerate that? Because there's a lot of students that came through my fold that threw it in. And this is too hard. It's not working for me. And not listen to me, in my experience, saying we're in a period where it's not going to be high probability. Oh, he's always saying it's never high probability. Man, get the fuck out of here. I know when it's high probability. And I tell you, okay? And then when it is, it is. But if it's not, it's not. I can't make it not be high probability. Well, let's just say Warren Buffett would be wanting to talk to me, okay? I'm not a billionaire, okay? I'm not a billionaire. Point is, you have to know what you're doing this for, what limitations you have to place on yourself, and not have any reservations about why you're doing it, and adhere to it. So ends, what is it that for you, what makes your ends meet? What's that dollar amount that covers all your bills, all your expenses, all your entertainment? That number has to be a specific number. Then inside that total month expense, they're your total end. What's the lowest one? Maybe it's a better idea for some of you to start there. But you should be moving towards getting to the most expensive one. And I did a poll on Twitter, and I did a poll on my community tab on the YouTube channel. And I asked everyone, I said, what's your largest? I already knew it's going to be mortgage or rent. Okay, that goes without saying, but I just wanted to make sure I had the data to prove to everybody this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. But everybody understands that's going to be the largest expense. So what is your rent? What is your mortgage payment every single month? That's your largest expense. So you might start with the smallest bill, like a credit card or a utility bill or some kind of expense like a car note. Not that $900 is a small car note, because it's, in my mind, even with the money I have, yeah, that's a lot of money for a car payment. Like, we're not talking about like a BMW. I mean, it's a Tacoma pickup truck. It's nothing special, but it's a note. It needs to be paid. So how do you go in and attack that? And then each time you get to that threshold of meeting some low-hanging objective in your ends that need to be met, so in other words, whatever the lowest bill is, you start there, and then you graduate towards what's the next bill. If you're making that money, work up to the largest expense, which is either rent or mortgage. And then once you have that, Even if it's 50% of that, that's a huge weight off your shoulders and an encouragement to your, as a trader, you're encouraged. You don't need anybody else to tell you you're doing the right thing. You don't need anybody to give you an attaboy, attagirl, pat on the back. You feel it because you see it, like, I know I'm making this money. And while you're building up your account, you're telling yourself constantly, I'm consistently working towards this. And it's growing, it's building up. I'm not trying to get rich overnight, wealthy, trying to floss in front of everybody. But that's not the time for that. You need to make sure that you have food in the house. You need to make sure that your bills are met, that your roof stays over you, your car stay running, stay fueled up, your health and health expenses are covered, clothing, your children's needs are met, daycare. Good grief. I'm sure you guys that have to pay for that are paying out your ass for that. What if that's covered in your trading and that's all you ever got out of it? Is that failure? Think about it, folks. If you got your children's costs covered every single month, but you still had to keep your job, is that failing in trading? Now, if you ask the 20-year-olds without kids, fuck yeah, that's you ain't living. You're failing, because that's their mentality. It's rich or nothing, and that's their youth. That's how I was too. You have to have everything, or you had nothing. But when you have when you have children, a family to take care of, and you're participating in a family, a working family, perspectives and observations change and they mature. And those of you that are in those circumstances understand that, man, if you had just half of your mortgage paid every single month, how much would that be off your back? That's all I'm suggesting here as a beginning point. It would be your full mortgage that you can pull out. But if you get anything that's not having to come out of your pocket from your job or your earned income, and you're having a secondary income from this, and I'm not promising it's going to happen for you, because this all relies on you doing it. But I'm trying to put the mindset together for you so that way you go in with the right perspective, because you have a skill set now. You have a model. It works, folks. Nobody's going to be able to come up here anywhere on social media, call me out. Call me out. I'm right here on Twitter. I can't hide from any comments. Everybody can talk to me. But you come to me with some stupid shit, I'm blocking you. Tell me what I'm doing is wrong, or show me what you got is better. Outline it beforehand. Don't just say, here's what I did yesterday. Here's the trades I took. Don't buy into that bullshit. You are here to learn how to trade. You've been taught. But now you need to know how to engage as a trader. So what do you start doing? You don't go out there going nuts. Don't think, I'm going to go out here and just kill it. Do the maximum effort. No. Reserved effort. Low-hanging fruit objectives. Don't try to do more than it's reasonable for you, because you're just now learning. You just got this weapon in your hands. You have to learn how to clean it, store it, carry it, and not blow your head off. Because that's what most people do. I had a lot of good meaning folks come through, pay me too, all the way up to month 11, and stop because they didn't want to listen. Everybody quit because they couldn't afford it. They just didn't want to listen. They know themselves. So why make that last payment, that charter member payment, because they just can't do it? Okay, they know themselves better than I do. But there's a lot of you that know yourselves better than I do and know that you want this. And you know that you have everything in your being is telling you you're going to do this. And ain't nobody out there going to tell you that you're not. That's my audience right now. That's who I'm talking to. Because if you're on the fence and you think somebody can influence you to talk you out of doing this or not using what it is I've taught, you're not my audience. You're not a student. You're just a casual observer. And you're never going to make it in any trading whatsoever because you're too influenced by other people. Someone that has been in my study, in my mentorship, in my teachings and lectures for at least 3 months. They've seen enough this year to know that there's absolutely something here that is worthwhile. It can be exploited in the marketplace. It's there. It's a real edge. It repeats. It's algorithmic. It's not random. And it's time specific, so that way you know when you're going to be operating. Think about this. All these businesses that are brick and mortar, okay, like a storefront, you go in there and you buy your shoes, buy your clothes. How do they know when sales are going to come in? They have sales reports and trends where certain times of the day, on certain days of the week, this is where we have a rush of customers usually. But there's no real guarantee that that's going to happen. You don't know if there's going to be customers coming into your business. In this business I've laid out for you, I've given you a business plan. Every single day, you're looking at the market between 8:30 and 11. That's your storefront hours. There's your business hours, okay? It's not a full day, and you're looking for something to happen. You're waiting for a customer to come through the door. That means you're watching to see when liquidity is getting taken. Okay, they took something off the rack, they're interested. Okay, you're standing at the register, make sure that sale's done. But they might change their mind. The market might run off, and they may put it back on the rack and leave. It's the same thing with this business. But you have to be there. You have to be in front of the market, waiting for that opportunity. You have to have the store open, or you're not going to make the sale. Every other business out there, they have all this overhead, all these costs, all these requirements for employees. You're the boss, you're the employee, you have operating hours. It's very easy, 8:30 to 11, boom, done. If a customer doesn't walk through the door, that means the setup doesn't come in, guess what? You didn't have to work hard for that day. You had to have the doors open, the lights on. And that's sometimes what trading's like. Just because your ass sits down in front of you and you're getting a trade, the market that. This is bullshit, man. I've been sitting here. It better give me an FVG. It better give me a fair value. It better. Somebody's ass is in a sling if it don't give me an FVG. It's funny reading some of you guys. Your expectations and entitlements ridiculous. It's funny, entertaining as shit, but it's unrealistic. It's crazy. But that's what trading's like sometimes. You could be ready to do it, and I'm not ready to do it. And you got to be okay with that. And no, guess what? Your model ain't broken. Your threshold, your 5 handles, is not too much. It's going to give it to you, just not that day or that session. Don't want to trade in the morning? You think it's too much volatility and uncertainty? Okay, no problem. Wait until after lunch. Use the PM session stuff I've given you. There's a lot of times the last 90 minutes of trading, that's the easy stuff. Because you can see what it's done in the morning, all that uncertainty, the bias is still in play, and the higher time frame daily chart is going to lead you to what? Where is it drawing to? And usually the last 90 minutes to 60 minutes, the algorithms really kick in, market on close orders start piling in, and boom, you get this real nice, easy, predictable market environment where liquidity is ran to. That could be your model. That could be your 5 handles if you're index trading. Now you have this skill set. You have this model. What do you do with it? Don't go out there thinking that you have to do above average returns or superhuman or Olympic level feats, because that's what it feels like in our community sometimes. It feels like everybody is expected to do ICT level precision, in and out, buy, long, sell, short, all the same day. That's not, I'm your teacher. I don't expect you to do that. That's not realistic. That's not reasonable. What I believe you should be doing is taking an inward look at how you have to live, because the way you live is not the same way I live. And 20 students of mine, they're going to have a amazing contrast between what they have to have each month. In some countries, very little is required, but where they're at, that little bit is a lot. And what they see is potential in the marketplace would literally make them kings or queens immediately. In other places, like in the United States, where everything's extremely expensive, it takes a whole lot to elevate ourselves up to a point of affluence. But if affluence is your goal, then obviously I've given you enough to get that. You have to submit to the time to get to it. But having these unrealistic expectations and high, lofty profit objectives that you have to do every single day, every single week, come on. Nobody told you how to do that.
I didn't tell you you had to do that. So I'm taking you back to square one, the same way I started on baby pips. 25 pips a week for Forex, or 5 handles a day, which was what? 25 handles a week in futures. That's a nice living if you let the compound interest do all the heavy lifting. What do you think happens when you get to a quarter of a... How much can you trade with that? And you're getting 25 handles a week? Do the math on it. That's the homework assignment for you, to figure out what's the lowest you can do. And if you just did the lowest and let compound interest do its job, not trying to get rich real quick, not trying to quit your job right now, I'm reminding you, you're working your job. You need to keep that. Every possible way of income right now, you need to be maximizing that and preparing your household and your family for rough times, buying extra stuff, canned goods, household wares, things that you're probably not going to be able to get in a couple months because you're just simply not going to be able to get it or afford it. And not be worrying about relying on your job, because you're going to be growing your business to replace that job. And that is a feeling of empowerment that I cannot articulate. No one can tell you what it really feels like. You can see everyone else do it and be encouraged, because they'll give you their testimony about how, oh yeah, I did this and I did that, and this is what it feels like. It doesn't resonate the same way until you have it done yourself. And when it happens, nobody's going to tell you wasted your time. No one's going to be able to tell you that. You're not going to hear it. You'd be, with me, I'd just say, go fuck yourself. But you might be pleasant about it and say, I don't agree with that and I don't regret it. But for naysayers and people that want to talk down and discourage you, that pisses me off. Because really what you're trying to do is they're trying to steal joy. They're trying to steal legacy. Okay? They're trying to take that from you. And I'm working my ass off to make sure that you have that opportunity right in front of you. And I'm constantly reminding you, it's a real thing. It's really here. But it isn't going to just fall into your lap. It takes effort. It takes work. It isn't going to be positive every single time that you sit down in front of the charts. It isn't going to feel like a good, feel warm and fuzzy moment because you studied or back tested. Or you may take a trade, whether it's in demo or if you ever eventually go into live funds, it may not work for you. That doesn't change shit. This stuff still works. One losing trade or a series of losing trades does not make a model a failure. It just means that you did something wrong and you own it. Guess what that does? It frees you up to not worry about your model not being effective. It just means that you have room for improvement. All of us have room for improvement. I have room for improvement. I still fuck up and put typos in tweets I should stop and read before I hit the send button, but I don't give a shit. I push it. But then once I do it, my OCD kicks in. I wish I would have done it. So I'm human. I'm not AI. And the same thing with my trades. I sometimes exit just a little bit too soon. And if I just would have held on to it 1 or 2 minutes longer, it would have been a better, favorable thing for me. I wrestle with that all the time. So you're always going to have room to grow, to improve upon. None of us have it all figured out, and that includes me. If I was absolutely perfect, believe me, my ego would fucking show it to you. I would be out here flaunting it all the time. So if anybody else is out there saying they got something better, they'd be out here doing that shit too. So you don't see it happening, so stop wasting time. Put your head in the charts. Stop worrying about dumb shit that isn't going to put anything in your pocket, isn't going to help you learn how to trade. Okay? Focus. We are a community of like-minded individuals. Okay? We're looking for the same thing in the market. Now, all of us are not going to trade it the same way. We're all going to do something different. We're looking at a different market all the time. I know a lot of you are still in Forex, and I'm focused primarily in index futures right now. But you're all able to see things, and I didn't take you to the chart. That should feel really good. That should feel real empowerment. But sometimes that doesn't feel enough. You feel like you gotta be coddled. You gotta have a little bit of a moment of, you're doing the right thing. You need to be validated. Stop looking to me to validate you. If you know what you looked for and it panned out in your chart, you do not need me to tell you you did well if it was a positive expectation at the end of it realized. You need me to tell you you did the right way? I understand it feels like it's too good to be true. I understand that. But stop looking for outward validation. Everything you need is going to be found by yourself, and grow comfortable with that solitude all by yourself doing it, because that's what the real world trading's like. As soon as you start putting time into allowing other people into your business, it's never a good thing, because nobody's volunteering labor for your trades. Okay, and they're not going to critique you the way that you think you should be critiqued. They're probably going to give you some bullshit because they probably said they've been in it longer than you. They made more money. They had more leverage. Their stop loss was smaller. This isn't the type of business where we sit down like in the cigar room and talk about how, our businesses are doing really well and we all can nudie about it. This is an industry where everybody's pulling out their thing and measuring it all up. Okay, that's what it's all about. So don't invite it, because no matter what you say or even show, somebody else is going to go out there and say some bullshit and say they can do it better. And chances are 99% of the time they're not going to be able to prove it. They're just in there to get a rise out of you. And that little bit of time that you've wasted giving that attention, that could have been used to encourage yourself by going through your journal, looking at times when you did it right, because you might be going through a period of time where you're doubting that you are going to be able to do this. And that's why journaling is important. You have to know what it was like when you were doing the right things and what it felt like. That's what you record in your journal. Only the positive things. And when it's negative, you say, okay, this doesn't work. This didn't work here. I did this wrong, and I'm learning from it. See what I just did there? I acknowledge the fact that the responsibility was mine. I did something wrong, and I'm using it to learn how to improve and not hopefully repeat that same effect in my future trades. It completely removes the negativity. It doesn't give me a report card where I go home with a D and I don't want to show my mother. Okay? That type of regret or anxiety. You're going to have losing trades. I have losing trades. You're going to think it's going to go up and it goes down, and you either get in line with that or you don't. But you have to have all those things factored into your ends. How does this meet your ends? Because if you start doing shit outside of the goals and models and routine that you're working towards each day and week, the things that you structure